how can I expand your audience? Expand my audience. I think one of the key things you can do, pardon me with my cough. I think one of the key things you can do is actually reach them, excuse me, is actually reach them where they are. Reach your audience where they are. I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, as founders, particularly as creators, I'm all three, but us creators, we really struggle with this. Or we do some amazing stuff in our basement. We create something from scratch. We get in our head and we write a book. I'm not gonna tell you how long it took to make all these books, but we create these things, and then it's like, we get the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. And it's like, no, actually, that movie's fantasy. That's not how it works. How it works is you build something, ideally with the feedback of the people you're building it for. That's one. The second part of that is that you actually reach those people once it gets done, or once it gets close to being done. You reach them where they are. So back when I spent a lot more time on social media, I would say I'm not on Snapchat because the people that I serve aren't on Snapchat. But I was all on Twitter, the previous incarnation. I left Twitter a while ago. I have a video about it. I'll show you guys in a second. But at the time, I'm talking about 2 decades ago, Twitter was a big deal, particularly among us writers, editors who I wanted to work with. Back when I was a full-time journalist, Twitter was the place to be. I'm talking like 2007, 2008. Back when I lived in Silicon Valley, Twitter was the place to be if you were a writer. Now it's not. So I don't need to be there. And it's as simple as that. If you're going to build your audience, you know where your audience already is. And that requires tapping into the people that you know. It requires serving the people, again, that audience of one that you're already starting to connect with. If you're able to build with them, then you're able to get a better idea as far as where they are and how you can connect with them. Now, this one's really different. There's something called 11 Labs. Excuse me, 11 Labs. 11 Labs is working a lot with AI. I'm going to go ahead and it's easier to show than to explain. Let me go ahead and get you guys going. Another presentation. We're going to do it live. Right, 11 Labs. All right. Really simple to read. Generative voice AI. And if you look at the top, the very tippy top, tests out our new multilingual speech-to-speech model. Here's what you can do. You can go and say, and I'm not even going to attempt to do the technology because I don't think the sound is going to translate, so I'm not even going to mess with it. Feel free to go there. The link is right there. And I have an affiliate link, so you guys will get a trial with it for free. Here's the basic idea. With this technology, there's 2 things you can do. The first thing you can do is if you create a video, or I know some of y'all that I coach, you're creating newsletters, and some of the discussions we made is actually, the Washington Post does this, a few of the major folks do this, where they'll have the newsletter, but at the very top, it'll be like a little audio strip, just like the one they have right here on 11 Labs. You press that, and it's someone or something, if it's AI, saying the newsletter. I haven't dabbled on that yet, but maybe you'll see it in the future. Who knows? I know some of y'all that I coach are dabbling in that. That provides a couple things. First of all, it's different because even I'm not doing that yet. Again, I just updated my newsletter, right? So not everybody's doing that. The second thing it does is that it actually allows your newsletter to be more readable because it's audio, and also more accessible because, of course, not everyone can read, or not everyone has the capacity to see the letters. I know folks who have sight challenges, or if they read too much, they get headaches. Audiobooks are for them. That's why audiobooks have become so popular, because it actually makes things more equitable. You could work with 11 Labs, and as you can see, literally just on their front page, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, welcome to the Bring Your Words show. And I'm going to have it said in Mandarin Chinese or in Hindi, as some of my relatives speak Hindi. Just like that. So that's one element of that. If we're talking about expanding your audience, if you're watching this, you're likely English speaking, but I know that there's probably about, I wish I can pull up the numbers right now, but I know there's about 10 to 20% of y'all that speak other languages, or the other languages are your primary thing. I'm talking German, I'm talking Hindi, I'm talking Dutch. I guess that's how you pronounce it, Dutch. Every time I hear Dutch, I hear that hi you. But that's allowed me using closed captioning to connect with more of y'all through BringYourWorth.tv. And nearly every single Bring Your Worth TV episode is in 8 to 16 closed caption languages. This is actually, pardon my French, that next level shit. Where it's like, no, we're not just going to have the closed captioning in other languages. We're actually going to have the speaking in other languages. 11 Labs allows you to use different voices to match that particular thing. And then the second part, as I mentioned at the top, the new multilingual speech-to-speech model. In other words, you could be the one that's actually speaking it and going to different languages. I think it's beta testing as far as having the right intonations and making it sound like you, but there are massive opportunities here if you want to do that. Mr. Beast, who's an extremely popular YouTuber, has been implementing these type of technologies for a while. So have other, million subscriber, tens of million subscribers in this case, folks. This is something that's available to you now. It's available to us now. I've been dabbling with AI for the last couple of years, getting deeper into what's available there. I've been looking and curious about this type of technology for probably about a year and a half. I knew it was coming, but now it's here. I don't know what this means for the channel, but I do know that it's a great opportunity if you're like, hey, I want to reach as many people as possible, and English isn't even the number one spoken language in the world. I want to say it's Mandarin Chinese, or I think they just call it traditional Chinese, and then I think it's Hindi, if I remember correctly, perhaps a subset of Hindi. Then it's English. So even if you have an English-speaking channel, even if you have an English written newsletter, if you want to expand your audience, you're like, I feel like I've tapped out, this is a great opportunity to do so. Again, you can use my link. It's try11labs.io, and then I'll gobbledygook after that. Just click on the link. You don't have to do it. Please don't write it down. Just click on the link. Again, it's a referral link, and through my special offer, you'll be able to get a trial and check it out. And they have a super basic trial on the website. So just go to the website, do that super basic trial just to hear what it sounds like and how it works. But if you want to go deeper, definitely use my link. And I'm happy to hook you up and see what else you can do. All right. Ooh, tea time. Hello. And then one of my favorite shows that I did, I want to say I did it about a year ago, Why You Do Not Need More Press. Listen, I have 2 degrees in journalism, master's in magazine publishing. Been a journalist longer than I've been anything else. Still a journalist. You'll catch my articles. Even I'm saying, no, press isn't going to help you. And I've been a successful entrepreneur, sold my startup a few years ago. Press was good, but what got us sold was the audience. We had 250,000 users. That hits different. Us being on the cover of the Wall Street Journal sounds good, but that's not what gave us our success. This video, and I want to say it's probably about 10 minutes long, it's not that long. I break down, I think it's 3 reasons why you actually don't need more press to, in this case, build your audience. You don't. There's so many people I talked to, even recently, where they were in the major business magazines. I have a column with Inc. magazine. I know folks that write for Forbes and, again, WSJ. And they'll get these beautiful write-ups, even like TechCrunch or some of the more, perhaps nerdier, if you want to call it that, Silicon Valley publications. And they'll get these write-ups, and other people who are doing exactly what you're trying to do, like other entrepreneurs or creators, will be excited about it, but it won't necessarily build the community they're trying to serve. Does that make sense? So if I tell a fellow journalist, yo, I was on the cover of the Wall Street Journal, they'll be like, oh my God, that's fantastic. If I tell someone who I'm trying to sell a book to, go sell a book, yeah, I was on the cover of the Wall Street Journal, it'd be like, okay, that's nice. So how's this book serve me? It doesn't matter, to be blunt about it. It doesn't matter. It ends up being what the kids call it today, clout. It's just clout. In this one, I talk about why it's clout, and then I talk about what you should be doing instead, which flows right into our conversation today. I'm really excited about it. Happy to share it with y'all. And yeah, hope it gives you some good insight. All right, so today we're talking about quite a few things. It's always good to be back live, because I haven't been live in, I don't think, this year. So it's good to reconnect with y'all. Today we're talking about building an audience from scratch. We're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, be sure and throw them in the chat.